All right, what's up, everybody? This is Z from Code on Maintenance, and today I want to talk about how aviation companies are pouring millions of dollars into hiring, trying to build programs, trying to get the high schoolers, get college programs up and running, trying to really go on the route of the FAA. And yet the solution is still that the guys that they're overlooking are the guys in uniform. And they've been doing it this whole time and they're still struggling. And they're putting millions, getting FIA grants. They're doing all these things so they can build a workforce for the future. But from their own research, they've noticed that military veterans are a small percentage of that. Only, and it's only been the second year in a row, according to ATEX research, is that 10%, which is the second year in a row for double digits, that military maintainers transition into civilian with with continuing their aviation maintenance career. And in my time in the military, and there's still guys still in because they're a lot, especially if they're a lot younger. They believe that aviation is not a pathway to a great career. And for you guys who are still in the military, or maybe you got out and you just didn't see a lot, and it's not your fault. There's just not enough information out there. And the whole process with the A&P can be overwhelming. It was definitely overwhelming for me in the beginning. So with that, I going to do the crew chief way of things. And maybe this comes with a little bit of human nature. We want to find a shortcut, at least the path of least resistance. And it's not that it's illegal to get your A&P, or the path that I'm saying is illegal. But you got the academia people who have a hard on about, hey, this is you should go the academic way. You should go to a 12, 18, or 24-month program, depending on what it is. And that's where you should go. And I continue to talk to guys who go to these programs and maybe they want to learn everything, but and it just depends on your plan. It just depends, right? But they try to sucker me into a community college and they didn't talk to me about other options, and it's options that one, the FAA doesn't are not too crazy about, and number two, colleges are not crazy about it, definitely, because that just takes away their money. It's taking away people off their demographics, right? But if you're the type who just wants to get it done, you already come with experience, an experience that FAA will approve you. If you and you just need to test out basically, and the FAA just wants to know the minimal stuff that they need to go into the civilian workforce, right? And the military will pay for it, or there's cheap options for you to do it, right? So there's a hiring shortage coming along here soon, or it's already here, and they're trying to fix it. There's an estimated 600,000 mechanics globally by 2040. An average age of a mechanic is around 50 something years old, and sometimes they leave to other industries. There's high turnover, low productivity, and a lot of junior techs. And I don't think there's enough awareness out there, especially within the military sector, that this is a great path. There's people who are investing into military stuff that I've personally helped, like Frontier and Allegiant, out there promoting their regional airlines. And there's now offices being built, programs that I've, inspired or influenced, like a military maintenance transition program that I've been talking about for a while, and other people are carrying the same name. So I'm happy. I don't care if they take it. I mean, that's the whole mission on doing this, is that you get grow the awareness. And that's awesome that these people, these companies are out there trying to recruit you guys, because it is a great career. You can earn six figures. And I've talked to plenty of them. And it's not always just an airline. It can be a small company. And they value your experience, or they get you in a certain position on a career path to get you six figures. And for some people, that's not a lot. For some people, that's a significant amount, right? So, what the military maintainers is that what they can do is, so many of them are getting out. That's a whole pool that they can plug you in, and some of you come with avionics experience. Some of you have power plant experience, and that's great. You got to remember that for you aviation companies, that these guys come with that. They come with a lot of it. Sometimes it's specialized. Sometimes it's depending on who they are, what type of airframe. They had to learn all kinds of things. They have multiple skills, several skills, not just a specific skill like the Air Force does. But even within the Air Force, how would you know which guy will have several skills? Who has the avionics and electrical skills, right? And they're a crew chief, because not all crew chiefs are the same on fighter world and heavies or bombers or, what's it called? Drones, right? The unmanned vehicles. And, there also comes with this negative stigma, and which is not really the case. I mean, mechanics are just crazy in general, but they also come with certain type of experience, right? Under pressure, in different locations, on the go all the time, getting stuff done. And that is something that aviation companies should be really looking into. And and this is for everybody, right? This is for the HR person. This is for the director of maintenance. Director of maintenance, you should be paying attention to this as well, that I've heard often, is that there's a machine that gets pumped out, put your resume, enters this machine, and there's keywords or buzzwords not being picked up because you got too caught up on certain experience. And sometimes the applicant doesn't know that. The applicant doesn't know the training words or the buzzwords that unfortunately I had to teach them. However, they have experience, and it's being overlooked because when you filter out resumes, they're lacking the civilian aviation words, the keywords. So, get to know, don't miss out and get to know the person. I know you get hundreds of them, but however, that's part of the job, and that's important to the mission of the company. It's for you to look out and know what that military language is. Just like military members need to know the other way, but you're missing out on a whole group of people because they don't have the buzzwords. And there's really not a lot of structure. Military is doing their best to help these guys transition and provide these tools. And there's some great ones, but you're missing opportunities to go out there and hit these bases. And they come with great discipline and leadership and safety first culture. That's for one is, if guys who already come with this type of mindset, they know the pilots, they know the importance of people on board and how important it is that there's, your safety is become first, and zero tolerance in shortcuts. We know the shortcuts. We find the shortcuts, and people pick up on it. The pro soups, they find them. So, but this leads to higher QA standards, right? You get a brand new kid, he just doesn't know. He's not experienced enough, and that's no knock on them. We all got to start somewhere, Like I worked on a $40 million aircraft right off the bat, but I am so lucky that I got a lot of experience from the old heads that were there, and they helped me out with reading TOs, following safety procedures, following, making sure that I label everything. This is a must because people get hurt when there's an open line and you don't label it. And, I learned the hard way with that. Fortunately, I didn't hurt nobody. It's just the what if could have happened, and that sucks. But so we learn from our experience. We can get stuff done right away. And a lot of us do have the mission first mindset. We get things done regardless of the hours. And if we're going to get paid for the hours, trust me, you're going to have mofos ready to take overtime, to be staying after work. And that's something we don't experience in the military. And they'll be gladly to help afterwards. So, if that's your type of culture, that's great. That's a great guy to pick up. And if it's not, I'm sure you're going to pick up the guy who values family time. All right. So these guys it's not their first time working on $200 million aircraft. They can handle, a business jet. They can handle a 737. So it's like the asset's important, but also safety and the people on board is way more important because we care about team members. We care about the people on board because all those guys are assets. The pilots are assets. They are important. So having, they can build cultures. They have discipline. They come with leadership, and they've been having that since, a couple of years in. They go through. I know Air Force goes through Airman Leadership class. It's surrounding. They're already surrounded by high performing guys, and being in the civilian world and looking now into that world and how much, like us military guys, we're going to complain of why is this new guy not motivated? Why is this new guy not getting the information? Why is he not implementing? But we just have high standards, and I don't know what it's like today. And I hope things are getting better under the new president with his regulations and the new people in charge of the military, especially the Air Force, that there needs to be standards and accountability. But standards is going to be a big one, having high standards. And I'm used to it. And it's so weird to, even though I've been out of the game, I just always remember one core from the military or from the Air Force is excellence in all we do, everything, not just at work, but in relationships. At least that's how I took it. And that's a great core value. That's probably my favorite one, is excellence in all we do, because to me, that works on your relationships. That works with your team, communication. Every aspect of our life, we do better, right? To improve in all areas. And of course, we're always going to be improving. But that's the core values that are instilled. I have a young brother, and I'm teaching him some of these values, having high standards for himself, to becoming a young gentleman and treating people with respect, doing things correctly the first time, communicating how important that is in a team, especially when in a place where communication is important, because if you miscommunicate, people can miss things, right? So words matter, communication matters. Ensuring that training is done correctly, administration portion is done correctly, and the job got done correctly. And have to iron out any miscommunication there. So the civilian world desperately needs military mechanics. And in my experience with recruiters, and then some of them are great and they're learning, how can we do this? How can I help them? They're coming to me to provide certain courses. They're paying me to provide certain courses, get their guys ready, right? They're paying me more than what I usually charge, just because they need this. They don't understand it. They don't understand the jargon. They don't understand the the experience. So these guys, they need to team up with companies like ourselves or organizations to understand these guys. And so what I want to do is, if you're one of those people who work in the military transition programs or work on TAPS or work on departments in certain companies, that how to prepare guys the best way to transition, to have a successful transition, I would love to be a part of that and interview you so you could share the world with what you've seen out there, especially in the current world. You know, I left the military in 2018, so I'm sure some things have changed, but I think that I feel like I need to do a better job of growing the awareness for military maintainers to be shown out, so that way they can succeed and the aviation company succeed. So if you're interested in some of the stuff, some free content on this, or be around the community so we can all help each other with other military members, giving you advice on how to get started with A&P, do the A&P, get past the A&P, and having a successful transition, come reach out to me. Reach out to me, go on our socials, DM me. And I was like, hey, where's the community at? And it's on school.com/Tucson Aviation. Google that, look for it, okay? And we can definitely help you out. So again, there's so much work to be done, and there's not a perfect resume. If you're an aviation company, look for that experience, have that conversation with them. It's be worth it. And there's ways to get A&Ps onboarded and stuff like that, and I can help you out with that. So if you're an aviation company looking for veterans, reach out to me. Let's have a discussion, and we'll work together to help with the needs of your company. And if you're a service member who's still in and you're looking to transition, reach out to me. I can do a one-on-one strategy call and see how we can help you out have a successful transition. That's my mission here. All right, so let's get that done. All right, that's my alarm to say wrap it up, dude. And that's it. Don't overlook the military maintainers, and you military maintainers. There's resources out there. Let's jump on a call to build a strategy for you. What do you need to be done? What needs to be done? And I can help you out. All right, so that's it for today, and looking forward to the next mission. Have a good night. Bye.